I'm going to give it a couple of minutes for some people to jump on. I am here, guys. I'm just checking some settings before we get going. Okay, and everything is posted. Grab my chat. Well, I did. Yep, that's the right one. Okay. Hi, Frida. And we have a viewer on Facebook. I don't know who that is. It's not showing up. Oh, that's Frida. Okay. Hello, hello. We're going to get started in just a second, Frida. I'm waiting on a couple more people to come in. Do a sound check. Hey, Neela. Thank you, Creative Living. Something's off. Let's see if we can get some sound going. Hey, Naomi. I got a new microphone. You want to cut out a cutie. Okay. Hey, Sue. Let's see. You can hear me, Joan? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you. I was just wondering what was going on there. Okay. All right, now we have sound. I'm going to play the intro and then we'll get started. And Frida will answer your question here in just a second. Yeah, I was about to play Can You Hear Me Now game. I was wondering if we were going to have sound. Let's see, you have to explore that. You haven't used it much, and will it benefit you if you are updating? What are you updating, Creative Living? Are you talking about Patreon or joining the YouTube channel? Guys, you can chat if you subscribe. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, you're not going to be able to chat on YouTube. Now, I am multi-streaming from YouTube and to Facebook. And if you're on Facebook, it shows me that you're a viewer on Facebook, but it doesn't tell me who you are. So please introduce yourself and tell me where you're from and if you're chatting from Facebook. If you're on YouTube, it will show me who you are. I want to give a shout out and say thank you to all the Patreon supporters and the channel supporters. Greatly appreciate you guys. I couldn't do any of this without you. Let's see. I wanted to. Okay. Please forgive me. My hair and my makeup is not done. It was 80 degrees here today, and I had errands to run, and I didn't want to get out there and get all hot and sweaty and the makeup just pour off of me. So, but I just wanted to come on and say hi to everybody and let you know that we're here for you. I know that a lot of my supporters are also supporters of Melody Lane, and we got some terrible news this week on that, and I just want to say that we all love and respect her, and we are going to miss her greatly. But if anybody needs to talk, if you're having a hard time, you can reach out. We're here for you in our group. Okay, that being said, this is video 6. Last week I wasn't feeling well, and I did a recorded tutorial on Tuesday for week number 5, so you guys can find that. And I covered part of the layers panel. I did not cover it all because I wanted to refresh and come in tonight and show you guys a little bit of refresh on that without going into real deep depth, and finish it up in depth with you along with the matte screens. Okay, and I'm just catching up on the chat here. You want to cut out a cutie. What are you talking about cutting out for your cutie, Frida? What kind of material are you using? What kind of project are you looking at doing? If you'll put that in chat, either myself or one of the moderators will help you out with that. Oh, updating. I got you, Creative Living. You have an expression, or you have, yeah, thank you, Sue. Sue's got you. Explore 1. Yeah, big update. Sue's going to help you out on that, Creative Living, and see what you need on that. Okay, so let me open up my design space. I thought I had it open, and I do. And I'm just going to slide it over on the screen and start sharing that with you guys. Before I do that, let's go back over to the calendar. This is the rest of the month. We have another live next Thursday. Tomorrow, all of my Patreon Zoomers or my Ko-fi Zoomers, we will be Zooming at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We are going to be doing some vinyl work on some of the plates and some options that you guys can do with that. And if you guys want to join us on that, you can join on Patreon and jump on that Zoomer tier where you can share your screen. We just talk. It's laid back and relaxed. You don't have to type your questions. You can actually mic up and speak. And we have a lot of fun. So I hope you guys will join us on that. Where did the score line go to? I will show you that in just a moment, Ellen. It's there. I'll show it to you. There have been some changes and a couple of things updated, so we're gonna jump in there and show that. Another thing that I wanted to make sure that everybody knows, we have a big giveaway going, and next week we're going to be drawing live here on YouTube 5 winners for 5 prizes, 5 different prizes. There's Swirly. Shirley is Swirly. We call her Swirly now. But yeah, we've got We've got some giveaways. There you go. You can see that. We are giving away a Bright Pad Go. That's the cordless Bright Pad. We're giving away an Easy Press Mini. We are giving away a Bright 360 table lamp. We're giving away a $50 Cricut merchandise shopping spree and a $100 Cricut merchandise shopping spree. So make sure you guys are entering. It's super simple. You're going to go into the group Crafting with Cricut Crafting with April or Cricut Maker Projects. You're going to post your project where you used a Cricut material with the hashtag #ILoveCricut. Then you're going to go over to craftingwithapril.co, not .co. And then when you get over there, you're going to go to the monthly giveaway. And if you're not registered, you will have to register to see that. And on the page, you will see the raffle copter form. And you're just going to fill that out. Okay? Super easy and simple. And any project using any Cricut material and just post it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, swirly. Okay. Then Saturday, this Saturday at 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. is the Card Maker Success Summit, sponsored by Stamp Me Some Love. Okay, make sure that you guys go in. I think you can still get your free tickets on this event for the free portion. Tickets are on sale for the VIPs and things like that. So, but the free portion, I think you can still get that. If you want the added bonuses and things like that, you'll need to purchase your ticket. Guys, trust me, even though you have a cutting machine, you can still use the techniques that these card makers are teaching. Now, I'm teaching a technique that you don't need your machine to do, but you can cut after you've done the technique, which is paper marbling. And that's at 5 o'clock on Saturday is when my speaking part comes up. So make sure that you join us on that. You don't want to miss it. Lots of good stuff going on. And, of course, it kicked off today. So make sure you get your tickets if you want to join in on that. All right, let's go over to Designspace. And I want to say thank you to Cricut. They put a bunch of images in the featured, guys. So if you go into the featured, you'll see some Melody Lane inspired images that they have put in there for you guys that you can play around with. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that those were there. Let me close that out. Now, if you're not on, I'm going to replace here. I am on version 7.2.87. I just got updated maybe 15 minutes before we came in tonight. So make sure if you're not updated and you're on 7.1, I forgot what it was, 7.1 something. The rollout is coming. Yours will update. It's automatic, so you'll get it. You'll get a little pop-up that says you need to update, and it will come to you. Okay? So if yours is looking a little bit different than mine, it's coming to you. Okay? So what is new? They did make these a little bit smaller because they added some things on here and it had to make the icons a little smaller so that they would fit. Some people are saying that their upload is cut off on their screen and they can't see it. That is your screen resolution on your computer, and you will need to adjust that if yours is cut off. Okay? If you can't see your upload button, you will need to adjust your computer screen resolution so that you can see that. Okay? And where did the score line go? I forgot who asked me that. Somebody just asked that. Ellen, I think. Ellen, your score line is right here in shapes. It's right here. Okay, can you see that? So if you need your score line, this is your score line. When you input it, it will bring it right into Designspace. And there it is, right there. Okay? So your score line is still there. It's not gone. And since we've already covered this bar, but they've added to it, I just want to come back over and touch on it. Shapes has been moved up and images has been moved below it. And they changed the icons up a little bit on there. But everything basically works the same. It just looks a little different. But they added phrases. So you can click on phrases and you can come in and lots and lots and lots of phrases. I love these that write and cut. Love them. So these are a lot of fun, guys. You can foil. You can change the pen to foil on these. And they are super fun. You can flatten them, make stickers. There are tons of things that you can do with this. Yes, thank you, Louise. If you're not on this version, you should be on 7.1.125. That is the latest version if yours has not updated to this 7.287 that just rolled out. Okay? But tons and tons and tons of your phrases. I love that. Super easy, super simple. And again, you can use your filters and filter out things that are draw only or print and cut only, and bring in lots of stuff. Yes, if you change it to basic cut, it will cut a line. Correct, Shirley. Right here, this line, whenever you guys need just a line for whatever reason, and I'm just going to pull another one in. This is your score line. But if you need a line that's just going to be wavy, which will give it a wavy cut if you have that wavy tool, okay, then you have your Perforate, which that is also a maker tool. So if you want a perforated line, you would change it to Perforate. You can change it to pen, okay, and then you can come in here and select your pen color or type, extra fine. You change the color of it to red, whatever color you are going to be using. All of that works. As well as foil, you would change it to foil. And if you wanted it to be medium and then you wanted to use purple foil, then you could change all of that there. But your line is your score line, your cut line, your all of that. And if you're using the open-ended, like if you need a curved cut line or a curved score line, you're going to use that open-ended circle. And same thing, you're just going to change your operation type to what do you want it to be. It's set at a basic for default, but if you needed a curved line for a pen, you could go in there and do that. And I'm just changing the color just so you guys can see it on the screen there. So you can use that for many things, okay? So if you wanted it to be a bold foil in aqua, there you go. So all of your shapes and things like that can be changed. The operation type can be changed on those. Okay, I'm just catching up on chat for a second, making sure nobody has no other question. Okay. And again, guys, if you have a question, put it in caps so that we can see it easier and we can get to you. You don't see the score option. It is automatically a score, Ellen. It's automatic score unless you change it. When you come into your operation, if it's on a cut, then you're just going to scroll right down here if you see it on the screen and change it to score. Just like this open-ended one, I can change it from foil to score. So you can change any of them. You just have to look in that operation type. The new update number is 7.2.87, Diane. All right, so that is what they have added. And like I said, your icons look a little bit different, and the only ones that moved were your shapes, and your images got swapped around. Images used to be on top, and they did change up the icons on some of those. Okay? So one of the things, let me go and get my project from the recorded tutorial that I did for you guys so that we can use those same images that I used in the recorded. I know that it's here somewhere. There it is. And I'm just going to replace. I know it looks kind of weird. I'll delete it after I'm done with it. The Air 2 is a really good machine too, Frida. It's a good machine. So I'm just going to unhide some stuff here that I had grouped. I had brought in some images. If you watched last week's recorded that I did, then you'll see all of these things. Now I covered the layers panel and showed you guys what all of this was up here, what your color sync did. And color sync changes your colors so that you can sync them very easily. Okay? And then I showed you how to read your layers panel from images and what you're telling your Cricut to do. This is the brain of your Cricut. I also covered the blank canvas. In case you're working with colors that are hard to see, you can click on the blank canvas, you can click on color, and then you can change your canvas to a color so that you can easily see things that you are working on. Okay? So we covered all of that in that recorded tutorial. Now if you have questions on these, I will answer them. I'm just giving a refresh of what is in the last tutorial. We covered slice, weld, attach, flatten, and contour. What I didn't cover in here are the right clicks of your layers panel. So if you need to know what image you used, you can right click on that image and it will show you exactly what you used. If you want to use something else out of that image set, you can click on it and it will take you to that image set. So you don't have to do any typing and all of that good stuff. You can go in there and you can take a peek. Okay? I'm going to go back to the canvas here. And just for information purposes, a lot of people are saying that their grid is not working. The toggle up here is not working, guys. You have to go up here and go into your settings. So go into your settings and then you can go in here and you can change it to no grid, full grid, or partial. Somebody had asked me that earlier today and I forgot to mention it. So make sure that they will fix it. It's just not fixed in this version. So we've covered all of those. What about fonts in that layers panel? Because, I mean, we can find just about anything by going to our image info. We can go to it, say we need another one and we don't want to mess up the one we have. We can go in and we can grab that. You can also view your image sets from here, and then you can click on that and see the whole collection. A lot of this stuff can be done right from that layers panel. Okay, I'm going to go back to image, go back to my canvas, and I'm going to select all and hide. Select all, group, hide. A weld result. Even though you welded it, you can come in here and you can look at your image info and see what it is. It will still be there. Now we had, I forgot, somebody, I think Mary Ann answered this for somebody in the group this week. They went in and they removed everything that had a shape or whatever from their canvas. And they said that they still couldn't use or still couldn't share the file. Guys, everything that you use is going to be in here. And if you've got a blank Sometimes it comes up blank. That means something is uploaded in there. Okay? If you upload a heart and you slice that heart from a square, then you delete that heart, you still can't share that project. It is not shareable because you use the heart to slice another image. That makes it an uploaded image. And I'm just gonna go in and see if I can't find something uploaded and show you guys. I'm just gonna replace everything. I'm just gonna get a whole new screen here. Let's go into uploads, and I'm gonna grab my zebra stripes. Okay. So I have those zebra stripes, and I know I uploaded that. Okay. So here's my original, and I'm going to get a circle. So I've got my circle, got my zebra stripes. Gonna expand that. We're gonna bring it in here. And let's just say I did this and I sliced. Okay, here is my circle. This is the circle that I just did. Okay. Right here it says circle and then the bingle stripes. I can delete this, delete all of that. I'm going to save it. Now I've saved that project. Just because I got rid of that original image that I brought in, because this is a slice result, resulting from that, it makes it unshareable. Okay? And you can see there's no image information in here. That means there's something in there is uploaded, and it's not going to show it to me there. Oops, I don't want that. But if I come over here and right click on my image, I can see uploaded image. I used this and the circle and combined the two images. So that made it unshareable. Anytime that you use an uploaded image to create another image, it is still an uploaded image. Okay? Hey, Rosemary. Hey, Pat. So make sure that you're checking on that. Now, fonts. The age-old question on fonts. Do you weld? Do you attach? Do you group? When I send it over to the mat, my letters are all jumbled up. They're not in there like I put them in there. Okay? And there are a couple of reasons for that. Okay. I have happy birthday here. And I'm just going to duplicate it a couple of times. Okay. Here's the one that I typed in, the first one that I typed in. Here's the second one, and I am going to ungroup to letters. And then I'm going to group it, just so I can move them around. Again, like I said in the video, when you group, it's like throwing your sandwich, your cookies, your chips, and your orange into a lunch sack. You can move it around all day long, but you can still take everything out of the sack one by one just by opening the sack. Okay? And that is what group is. When you bring this in, you can see that it's just a basic cut. I haven't done anything to it except type it. So therefore it's just text. Even though this is text, it's been ungrouped. I'm going to duplicate this one more time. And then this one I am going to weld. This one, I'm going to ungroup it. And then I'm going to attach it. So let me change these for colors so that we can see what happens to each one of these. Just to make it easy for you guys to see what happens. go in red. Okay, so this one is the one I've done nothing to. The orange one I ungrouped. You can see all the layers. This one I ungrouped and then I attached them. And then this one I just welded. And let's see what happens when I click on Make It. Alright, this one is the one that I welded, and it is on the mat just like I need it to be. Nothing is going to change. It's just the way it's going to cut. This one is the one that I typed in and I did nothing to. Perfectly fine as well. This is the one that I attached, so everything looks great on it. But the one that I just grouped is all jumbled up. Okay? And it's just a space saver thing that Designspace does. But if you're not putting your text in and treating it properly, you're going to get these weird funky things. Okay? Is there any way you can make my cutie like the one in Memory of Melody Lanes? Yes, I believe they shared that, Frida, in the Cricut community. Are you talking about the tie-dye one? If you're talking about the tie-dye one, we can get that one to you, if that's the one that you're wanting. So when you're doing this, and I had a couple of people come behind on a post that we had, and she had some cursive text in her post, and then she had a lot of other things in her post down below it. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to type happy birthday again. And we're going to go and change this font. And I'm just going to pick a font. That one's a pay font. Let me go into my system fonts. I know which one I want. Let's see. Because we don't want to go into that hole of font searching. Okay, so I've chosen the Magnolia Sky font. Okay, and I am just going to ungroup this and then just group it back, because this is what had happened with the file. Okay, so I'm just going to group all of that right back together. And it looks fine and good. Okay, but when we hit Make It, again, because it's just grouped, it's all jumbled up. That's not the way we wanted our happy birthday to cut. Okay, so I'm just going to go in there, and so it will stay all together, I am going to attach it, because that's what everybody on that post was saying. You need to attach. Don't weld. Weld is permanent. Weld is kind of permanent, but it's not permanent. Okay? When it comes to a shape, yeah, it's going to be permanent, but there are things you can do, especially with text. So, should I leave this like this and send it over? I'm going to lighten that up. I've got that all attached and it looks beautiful. Okay? Until I hit Make It. And when I hit Make It and I bring it over here, it's all going to be together, but everywhere that these letters touch, where this R touches the T, where that H touches, and let me see if I can blow this up so that you guys can see it. You see right there, I'm even going to go a little bit higher. Right here, this doesn't touch, so I'm okay. But you see where that H is? You see what happened with that H over that A? Guess what's going to happen? If I'm cutting this from vinyl or paper, doesn't matter. It's going to cut that H out of that A, but it's also going to cut that A off that H. Same thing's going to happen with this P. Now this one's not on the top, but you can see there's a line right there. That means it's going to cut right there, and the rest of that P is going to cut out of the middle of this one. Same thing's going to happen here. Same thing's going to happen here It's going to happen here, 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 and here. Okay, it's going to cut out of each other because they are attached to one another. Attaching is like a stapler. You can attach it and it will staple those pages together. Okay? And you can move it from one desk to another, and all those papers are going to stay together in order just like they're supposed to be. Okay? But it's going to leave a hole in that paper. Okay? When I take it apart, it's going to leave a hole. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to come back over here, and I am going to weld, which it would be the correct thing to do with this cursive font. Now, if the letters don't touch, you're good attaching all day long. But if anything, an image or words touch, they will cut out of each other if you attach. You need to weld them. So we welded this, and now let's go over and take a look at it and see how it looks. So when you're reading that layers panel, you need to be aware and look, make sure that you have either welded it or attached it before you actually cut. Learning to read your layers panel will prevent mishaps. So now, if you notice, let me see if I can blow it up a little bit more. See where that H and that A is? And there's no line going across there. Okay? There's no line going across here. There's no line going across here. That means my blade is going to come around, come up and around instead of passing through it. Okay? So it's very important that you weld anything that touches. And you read that into your layers panel. That is Magnolia Sky. If anybody wants it, there is a free demo of Magnolia Sky on dafont.com for your personal use. You cannot sell using that font unless you purchase the font. Okay, so make sure that you're reading this layers panel, and it's going to tell you it's a basic cut, it's print and cut, all of those things. If you read it, it'll tell you. Alright, so on the Make It screen, and I'm just going to leave these things on there. We're going to use the same thing. If you do not have a Maker 3, you may not see that, or Air 3, you won't see this screen. So when you come over to this mat and you say, oh, I forgot to change the color of that, I want it to be cut out of the red too. If you look at your screen here in your mat, you have 3 dots at the top. You can move this object or hide this object. So if I want to move that object, it's going to give me the option of picking a totally new mat of a different color and moving that, so I still have that gray mat up there even though nothing's on it, and it will vanish on the next screen, so it won't be there unless something's on it. And now I have it in blue. So I can change it around and make sure that I'm cutting the color, coordinating it with the color that I want to cut. Okay, so now that you have your happy birthday here, let's see. I just need I don't need that B for whatever reason. Let's just say that this is some type of image. You can just come over here and you can hide that, and it will cut everything but that image. You don't have to go to your canvas and do all that. Anything that you forgot to remove or that was straggling behind, you can just move it off of the mat and hide it. You don't have to do anything. Right here at the top are your project copies. And you saw over in the canvas, I had Happy Birthday with the exact same font in 4 different colors, like 4 times. And if you're doing different colors, that's fine. But let's say you're making a sheet of stickers, okay? And I'm just going to go grab a sticker just for kicks and giggles. Let's go to Images. And let's just do a Melody Lane one here. Born to Stand Out. And let's add that one in. So let's say I wanted to make a sticker of this. Of course, I can see the grid behind it, so that's not going to help me. So I need to do an offset and capture everything in an offset. And I'm just grabbing whatever size here. Oops. There we go. And apply. So now I have that, and I'm going to change that to white. White doesn't print. I want a white border all the way around, and so I'm going to do that. I have a couple of little holes in my offset there, so I'm going to, I don't know what that is. Oh, there we go. That one doesn't have it. Okay. If you have any holes in there, you can use your contour, and you can contour out those holes. And I'm just going to align it to the center. And then I am going to, and you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. When I'm done for print and cut, it should be 1. So now it's 1 layer. So I'm telling it to print everything. Let me change this so you guys can see it. I'm telling it to print this and then only cut the outside. If I attach it to that white offset, then I am cutting all of this individually and then cutting around it as well. And it would be 2 layers. So make sure you're reading your layers panel and you've got 1 single layer for your print and cut, or it's going to chop everything up on the inside. So let's hide these for now because I don't want to bog down my design space. I'm going to group them and hide it. Alright, so I'm making stickers and I've got everything all planned out and I'm ready, and I hit make it. Over here is where you apply your project copies. So I'm just going to apply, I don't know, 10 and apply, and let's see if they fit, and they do. So if I want a whole sheet of them, I'm just going to keep adding, and now it shows 2 mats. So I'm just going to go down to 16, and it should be 1 mat. Okay, so now I have 1 full sheet of stickers, and I've got my copies here and I applied it. Okay, if I'm doing, say, 30 copies or 32, if I'm doing 10 sheets of these, I don't want to have all of those over in DesignSpace. I only need 1 because they're identical. If I duplicate this 16, 15, 20 times over in DesignSpace, I am eventually going to bog down my DesignSpace, and then when it gets over here, it's just going to sit and spin and not want to cut. You will run into this a lot if you've got a ton of text and you've duplicated it over on your canvas. It's going to bog down your DesignSpace. The more layers you have, the more you're bogging it down. So make sure if everything's identical, you're changing your project copies here and not in the canvas. Okay? Is everybody with me? Hey, Beverly. All right, so that covers what that does. Next you have, this is on a mat. If you're on a 3, you're going to see this. If you're on an Air 3 or a Maker 3, you're going to see that. If you're not, if you're on just your regular Maker or Explore machines, you're not. If you're going to be using iron-on, you'll want to mirror your image so that your writing is backwards. Okay? I'm just going to pretend that this print and cut is iron-on. That is what this is for, to mirror. Okay. Let me cancel this and get back our groups right here so that I can show you guys everything. Okay. So that's what print and cut's going to look like on the screen right here. If you are on a Maker 3 or an Explore 3, you can choose to cut it on a mat or without a mat. If you're cutting without a mat, you must be using smart materials. Again, you must be using smart materials if you're cutting without a mat. If you are not, and I know there are some people that will feed material into their machines, it will void your warranty as unintended use. It will eventually wear out your guides and tear them up. It was tested, and it's a known fact. Cricut knows it will, and that's why they tell you it must be on a mat, or it must be a smart material. Okay? Guys, don't damage your machines. Follow the recommendations. Here is where you can select your material size. If you're working with 12 by 24, you can change that, and it's going to change your mat view. And then you can bring in more stuff and add it. You can move your objects around if you're cutting them from the same color and swap that up. Again, this is your mirror in case you're cutting it for iron-on, or if you're cutting vinyl to go on the inside of glass, you will use your mirror. And then all the rest is pretty self-explanatory. These are just the different colors of materials, be it cardstock, vinyl, iron-on, whatever color you need that to cut from. Okay? On the next screen, you can hit continue. And this is where it's going to read and look for your machine. This is where you will select your materials. Okay? Here are your favorites, and I'll show you how to do those, and the popular. These are the popular materials, and they will be in there. Cricut will put those in there. These you can change, and you can favorite your own. And I just took one off just so you can see, so I can add one. If you have an Air or an Explore machine, any of those, you can set it on custom and leave it there. And then you can select your materials right here on the screen. You don't have to keep adjusting your dial. Just leave your dial on custom, and then you can select your materials right here just like we do. Okay, with the makers and the Explore 3s. So, super easy. So, what if your material is not in the popular and it's not in your favorites? Right here, you see Browse All Materials. And then you can come in here and let's just say I wanted it to be chipboard. I can select it and hit done. Now if I do a lot of chipboard, I can click on the star right here and save it as a favorite. You can store 12. And anything that has the little Cricut logo means that that is a Cricut material. Okay? That is a Cricut material. So I am going to select it and save that as a favorite and hit done. And I'm just going to say no. But you can see that I got my chipboard here. And now here it is. It's in my favorites. Okay? Right there. I have one over here. My vinyl, removable for whatever reason. It's got a star on it. I saved it as a favorite right here. I don't know why, but I did. And it will tell you. If you've got one duplicated, you'll see it's got a star on it. It means it's in your favorites list too. Awesome, Frida. You can also remember your material settings here. Some materials can be, now you don't have it on the Maker 3 because they are faster, but on your Explorer Air 2 and your Explorer 3, I believe Explorer 2. I don't know if the Explorer 3 has it because I don't have that machine. But some materials you can cut in fast mode. Let's see if I can. Let me cancel this and bring it back. It's not that big of a deal. And flip on my other machine. So I'm going to go into my machine family and select my maker right here and then hit make it again. And let's select my material and continue. And let's just go with medium cardstock. And I'm just going to default pressure. Got all of that. I'm going to pretend to load. All right, and once you've gotten to that step 3, you can see a fast mode. Okay, so if you need to cut a little bit faster, you can put it into fast mode. I am going to say, out of personal experience, but it may have been something I did, maybe not. If you're cutting cardstock and it's really intricate, don't use fast mode. If you love your cardstock, don't use fast mode. It will chew it up. Because paper is fibrous, and when you get into those really delicate, intricate areas, you don't want to cut it in fast mode because it's going to sometimes tear up those fibers. I would do a test cut first before I cut my good material. Just saying, because I did that. There is a lot to learn, Frida, but we're here, and we're here every week, so we're not going to leave you behind. You can always do replay, guys, and you can always ask in the group, and we're here to help you. Somebody's going to help you. We have a fantastic group of, how many, Sue? 197,000, somewhere around there, to help us out. You own a Brother Scan and Cut. I used to have a Scan and Cut. I did. But I just couldn't get enough out of that machine. It wasn't for me. Yeah, I like the regular paste too. So I very, very, very rarely use fast mode. If I'm cutting a bunch of circles or squares, then I will. But not when I'm cutting intricate, delicate stuff. So then you're going to press your go button. And just so you guys know, I don't have it set up so that you can see me. When you insert your mat and you hit that load button, do not let go of your mat. Hold on to your mat, press it up against the roller, make sure it's under the guides, hit the load button, and let the machine take it out of your hand. Okay? If you're cutting and it's cutting your vinyl up above the grid, above your material, it's an improper load. You haven't held that mat in and let it take it, because once those rollers start rolling, that machine is thinking, and it thinks it has a mat there when it hasn't actually picked it up yet. So if you let go of it and it's rolling and then you stick that mat in there, then it's not going to cut properly. You're having trouble cutting out the clock. Thank you, Sue. 194. I know it was somewhere around there. So you guys have tons of help. And let's see. There was something else I wanted to make sure that I told you guys. I told you about the mats. Don't punch your blades into foil. Don't. Wipe them off with a baby wipe. It will clean it just as well, and it won't damage the blade. Punching it in foil will not sharpen it. It is carbide steel, but it can dull it faster. Okay? Exactly what Sue said. If it's very, very intricate, a lot of times, especially on vinyl, a lot of small lettering or iron-on, I will use my deep cut blade. You do not change your settings. Do not change your settings. Still cut it on your regular vinyl setting as you normally would. It is not going to cut any deeper, but it will pivot better, because it has a 60-degree angle on it, where your gold premium has a 45. Gray cap blades are for Explorer 1 and older machines. They have a 30-degree angle, and they will drag on your materials. A lot of times they will cut through the backing of your vinyl or through your carriers. Not always, but a lot of the times. Okay, so those are the tips on that. Trying to think if there's anything that I forgot to tell you guys. I'm thinking. Does anybody have any questions? You're having trouble cutting the numbers out on cardstock? It could be your cardstock. Guys, please use good cardstock. I love Cricut. I love Cricut cardstock. It cuts very, very, very well. It cuts like butter. I don't have any trouble with it. I mean, it's like... I shop at Dollar Tree sometimes too. But when it comes to my crafting and my crafts, I try not to skimp in areas. Me personally, I like to support small business and like the groups and things like that. Cricut gives us a code. They give us discounts from Access. They give us a group discount code. I earn a small commission when you do that, so you're helping support me. If you're running out here and you're buying an inexpensive paper at a big box store, you know, sometimes that paper is good and sometimes it isn't. Okay? I'm just going to say sometimes it's not going to cut well. So it depends on where you're getting it and what you're getting. You have to pay attention to what you're getting, because paper is one of the most difficult mediums to learn to cut, because it has different weights, different thicknesses, different fibers, and it takes experience learning to cut those. I can cut, I don't like to, but I can cut handmade papers on my Cricut, but I've learned what to do, what not to do on those. So it takes practice. And I've seen a lot of people say, oh, go buy the cheap stuff over here at the Dollar Tree to learn on. No, because you're just causing yourself more of an issue. Because just because it costs less, if you mess it up, if you have to cut it 10 times, how much did you save? So use a good material, especially if you're learning. You are going to have loss. You are going to lose some material. I still lose material. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. I still lose material. Okay? I've done all sorts of crafts, and I really got into paper crafting about 10, 11 years ago. And it takes time to learn. Once you've learned and you know how that paper is going to behave, if you want to go and get that paper that is 3 cents a sheet or 2 cents a sheet, or go for it. Or if you want to buy that piece of vinyl that's 10 cents, go for it. But while you're learning, don't skimp on your materials. Don't skimp on them. There are also types of paper, Frida. There's handmade papers. There's anywhere from 65 pound to 200 pound. Your GSMs, all of that, they all matter. And even though you can have 2 papers that are 65 pound or 2 papers that are 80 pound, they can be different. They can have different fibers. Okay? Some of your paper is white core. Some of it is solid core. Cricut is solid core. So, you're getting a premium product, and their prices, honestly, I have no problem with their prices, because the prices of papers are astronomical in some areas. So, buy those mystery boxes. That's a good way to build your stash. It's a great way to build your stash for vinyl and iron-on and papers and all sorts of things, and trying new products and different products. and learning with your machine. So don't skimp on that kind of stuff and use some quality stuff, especially when you're learning. You will have a lot less problems. They are experiencing the chain issues too, Diane. This is not the norm. We all know it's not the norm, because usually you can go in there and you can get anything, any color that you want. And they are experiencing some of the issues on some of the supplies. So, like I said, the best way to build that stash and to keep some stuff on hand, grab those mystery boxes. Shop my links down below, and on the videos you'll find all those links. If you need them, they're in the group as well. Ask us for them. We're happy to supply them. Do they ever... I don't think I've ever gotten a mystery box that didn't have at least one roll of vinyl and one roll of iron-on. I mean, they surprise us all the time. We get tools in them, we get iron-ons in them, we get glitter paper, we get holographics, we get brushed papers. There's just tons of stuff in there. So, I mean, you never know, but I always do the reveal video for you guys, so you guys will have that. And when I post it in the group, if you don't want to watch the video, the contents of what's in that box will be there. Yes, 12 by 24 sheets too, because you can cut them in half if you don't need the 12 by 24. You can cut it in half. I like to keep the 12 by 24s as they are, and if I need that particular color but I only need a piece, I just cut it off of there. That way I still have a long piece if I need it. They have those. What else? Your tools, guys, don't forget, if you're not an Access subscriber, if you subscribe to Access, it's very, very, very beneficial, especially if you're learning. Can you upload and do your own images? Yes. But you don't know if they're copyrighted, this, that, or the other. You can Google it. Sometimes you're going to get a good image. Sometimes you're not going to get a good image. You can go to Etsy. I mean, I went to Etsy the other day and I saw 4 fonts being sold that are free fonts over on Creative Fabrica, on design bundles and font bundles. I mean, they you know, it's a free font, but people are over there paying for it. Add it up. If you buy 2 images for $4.99 from Etsy, you've spent $10. You got 2 images. Or you could have spent $10 and gotten, what is it, 200,000 images or close to it in Cricut Designspace, and had access to all of those for that $10. Plus, you could have gotten 10% off of anything you buy at Cricut.com. Plus, if it's over $50, then you can use the group code and get another 10% off and free shipping. So, I mean, if you weigh it out, you cannot beat Access. You cannot beat it. Okay? And if you have premium access where you pay annually instead of monthly, all your tools and things like that at Cricut and your supplies, you're going to get 20% off instead of 10. And then you still get to use the group code. So, guys, if you're not taking advantage of that, I strongly encourage it. I keep Access strictly for that discount. Strictly for the discount. The images are a bonus. So make sure that you're reading that and you're taking into account. Because, like I said, if you go over here and you buy a couple of images, you could have bought Designspace Access for a month. Designspace is free. That's where we design everything. Doesn't cost you anything. Access is the library. Okay, I think that is it. I think I've covered everything in Designspace. Now, I may have forgotten a couple of things. tips and tricks, but we go over those and we learn those on tutorials that we do. That's what I was going to tell you guys. So since we're wrapping this up tonight, I had originally planned for 7 weeks, and we don't need it. We've done it in 6. I am going to change next week's tutorial to, I forgot what I was going to call it. I wrote it down, so you give me just a second, because I knew I would forget that. Tutorial Thursdays, and we're going to do some projects, and what that means is we are going to be doing, I will be picking each week a Make It Now project out of Designspace, and we are going to make something. It may be paper, it may be vinyl, maybe iron-on, maybe infusible ink, but we will be picking a project, and we will be doing that project together and making changes, because we will be customizing our Make It Now projects. Okay? We're going to learn how to customize, and that's going to get you guys into the groove of how to slice, how to weld, when to attach, when to group, that kind of thing. Okay? Is everybody with me on that? So Thursdays are going to be Make It Now tutorials. We're going to call it Tutorial Thursday. Okay? And in March, I'm putting some things together. We've got a lot of new things coming, so make sure that you are subscribed. Turn on the notifications so you get notified when we go live. Because even though we do Thursday nights at 7, I am going to be doing some other days of the week in different times. It may be morning, maybe afternoon, so that more of you guys can come in on times that you are off instead of trying to set aside one specific day. But Thursdays will not change. It will be 7 o'clock every week. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming to learn Designspace with me. Thank you to all my Patreons and my supporters. You guys can leave super chats to support. You can shop my links to support. You can join Patreon or Ko-fi to support. And I greatly appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you to my moderators. You guys are awesome. Best in the business. Couldn't do any of this without all of you. All of you. So I thank you very, very much. All right. And I will catch you guys Zooming tomorrow. If you're a Patreon Zoomer, Ko-fi Zoomer, catch you tomorrow. I will see everybody who has the All Access VIP Pass for the Cardmaker Success Summit. I will see you on Saturday at 5. That's when my show goes on. And don't forget the giveaway. Guys, make sure you enter it. Most of you made a project. You made a Valentine project. Post it with I Love Cricut. And then go to that Rafflecopter entry form and enter. You can find this post in the featured post, pinned post at the top of the group. Even on mobile or on computer. So make sure you're doing that. I don't want you to miss out on those great giveaways. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Happy crafting!